Hi, my name's Hannah and I'm from Fit Swansea, and I'm here to talk about burnout, which is the first theme for my radical self. I wanted to talk to you about burnout in regards to how it relates to exercise, because that's my subject area. Just wanted to start with a couple of sort of definitions. First out, when I'm talking about burnout, for me, I'm talking about a time when my physical, mental and emotional reserves are really low and I'm feeling kind of stretched to breaking point. That's how I normally experience burnout, and they tend to all three come together. I also wanted to talk about exercise and the way it affects us. Exercise is a form of stress for our bodies, and there's actually two types of stress. There's eustress and distress. Eustress is positive kind of stress, so when something drives you to adapt in some way, you learn new things and you feel pretty good about it. Might be a mental challenge or an emotional challenge or a physical challenge. And then there's distress, which is any kind of stress which affects you negatively, which takes away from your reserves and which reduces your ability to cope with other things. So exercise can be eustress or distress depending on how things are in your overall system. So what we're going to talk about today is exercise in relation to feeling burnt out. I want to start with people who don't exercise at the moment but are feeling like they should, which is a huge thing that goes on in a lot of our heads. If you are feeling like you should be exercising, but you haven't really exercised before, or it's a long time since you've exercised, and you are feeling burnt out at the moment, for heaven's sake, don't start now. First of all, you need to have a bit of a look at other lifestyle kind of factors that might be affecting your energy levels and try to work on those, and then it will be the time to add more stress into that situation. If you're someone who already trains, it slightly depends how your workouts are making you feel at the moment. So if you have been training for some time and you are feeling run down and a lot of other things, but actually after a workout you feel pretty great, pretty energized, then I think that's a vital ingredient to keep in there. Make sure you don't add anything new, and make sure that you do look at other lifestyle factors which might be contributing to you feeling run down. If you're training at the moment and after one of your workouts, after a run or whatever, you're feeling really a bit rubbish, a bit grim, if you've noticed that your performance is down, or if you just generally are taking longer to recover as well, then I would urge you to look at dropping either the volume or the intensity of your exercise. By volume, I mean altering the amount that you're doing and lowering that for a while. And by intensity, I mean how hard you go at it. So perhaps you would run more slowly, you would do running, walking intervals instead of like a full sort of 5K or something like that. If you strength train, you can definitely be working with more reps in reserve, for instance. But whatever, just make sure you continue with your exercise because it's probably doing you mentally a lot of good things. But really drop it down in terms of volume and or intensity, just so that you get a chance to recover more. So now we're going to look at the lifestyle factors which might affect you feeling burnt out and which might help you to feel better. The first one is sleep, and it truly is the foundation that everything good is built upon. So if when you look at your sleep patterns, you really notice that you're going to bed late, you're having very interrupted sleep, you're really deprioritizing sleep, or you're not giving yourself enough sleep opportunity, which is a major thing. So you're literally like waiting till you feel exhausted before you go to bed. Then I would really urge you to look up some online. There's loads of basic sleep advice. Look at restructuring your sleep routine so that you're going to get the more opportunity to sleep, because it really is the foundation of everything else. I know there are times in our life, certainly when we have young children, where it's really difficult to get on top of our sleep patterns. And if that's the case for you, then I would look at altering other things about your life that you can that might help you to feel less burnout and not adding any more stress in the form of exercise. So the second thing I would urge you to look at is your other stress factors. Could be work, could be family stuff, can be really minute day-to-day things like keeping on top of the house. And if there's anything you can do to reduce that stress on yourself, whether it's giving yourself permission to lunch stuff out, that's definitely an option, whether it's asking for help from people around you, or whether it's sort of majorly restructuring things so that you've got less responsibilities, whatever it takes, look at lowering your general stress levels in any way that you can. And last but not least is your diet. And by that I just mean whatever you take in through your mouth. Just make sure that the food that you're taking in is supporting your well-being. It's really easy when we feel burnt out to start eating stuff that's actually not particularly nutritionally rich And although some of it might be really convenient, and that can be really important, you can look at changing your sort of convenience options just to give you a bit more nourishment. Because when your body's under stress, it needs more resources to cope. That's the point then, to start adding in a bit more movement and a bit more exercise. And just to say, in my next video, we will be looking at some really simple ways to add 5 minutes of movement into your day. Starting off really gently, and then going to things that are maybe a little bit more intense, that are going to get your heart rate up a bit more, just to help kickstart your energy levels a little bit and give you a little bit more of an opportunity to move. But that'll be in my next video. Thanks very much for listening today, and I'd love to know your thoughts about burnout, exercise, and anything else to do with moving your body. See you soon.